This is a story about innocence and guilt, the short distance between the two, and how rage and mistrust left people unable to tell the difference. It's the story of how one night of rioting illuminated the racial fault lines running through 1980s Britain. It's the story of how a London policeman, Keith Blakelock, met his death at the hands of a raging mob, and how failures of police leadership made that death more likely.
And you could see machete blades coming across the top of the shields. I remember thinking to myself, if I can get out of this, I've still got this to deal with behind.
It's that feeling that you're penned in and trapped. And they were shouting, kill the bill, kill the pigs.
It's the story of how, in their outrage, the press created a monster to stalk the nightmares of Middle England.
Get off me!
Winston Silcott.
It's like a stereotype in my case, this big black man to be fearful of.
It's the story of how the murder investigation sowed the seeds of its own failure and led to a notorious miscarriage of justice. Above all, it's a story of why, 18 years on, there's still a sense of injustice on both sides, and how this stands in the way of resolving the unanswered question.
First of all, I don't
Because one of the things that has always been said about it is that basically you were completely off your face when you were making that movie, and that it suffered as a result of that.
Well, I could have been off my face, but you know something? There was only one thing that was of interest to me, and that was the work. It wasn't the sex, it wasn't the drugs, it wasn't the drinking, it was making the movie. So I was obsessed on both things, of making the last movie and making Easy Rider. I was obsessed. I had waited and waited and waited. I wanted to direct since I was 18 years old. And I was 31 and 33 years old when I made those films. And that's all I cared about. And if the drugs and the alcohol were getting in the way, how the hell did I make Easy Rider in 5.5 weeks?
But did they?
5.5 weeks, and I didn't have any cocaine then. I was just drinking on Easy Rider because we didn't have cocaine. We used baking soda.
3 years in other ships.
3 years.
He hasn't always had it this rough. In fact, my guest is one of Hollywood's greatest stars, lashed, beaten and bullied through more than 70 films and countless stage productions. Awards and plaudits have come his way by the sackfuls. You know his name and his face, but after 50 years in the spotlight, what does he think of you? Charlton Heston, a very warm welcome to Hard Talk. The cry went up in our studio when we'd heard that you arrived. God is here. How do you take to all this fame?
Well, I've been had a public face for a long time now, and it just is part of yourself. It's you have to learn to be a public person, and you learn it after a while, and it's perhaps different from your real self. I, like a great many actors, Olivier is an offhand example, am a fairly private person, even shy. I think that's one of the reasons many people become actors, gives them a chance to be somebody else.
I arranged to meet some friends in Birmingham for a drink. I wanted to know what black men born and raised here thought about asylum seekers.
Long time ago.
Everil is an engineer in his 40s who's had bouts of unemployment. 19-year-old Junior helps his mum run a pub, and Platinum, who's 30-something, is a record producer and runs a market stall.
What do you think about, general attitudes towards asylum seekers? Do you ever feel threatened by them?
When I walk past a group of asylum seekers, I look at them to see what they're wearing and I scrutinise them.
And if they're wearing something posh?
I scrutinise them, right, and I see everything. I see they've got a better phone than me, what amazes me, I'm walking down the road, and you can see the Somalian guys. You can tell them got distinctive features, and they all look the same anyway, And that, no, that's not being racist.
They've got similar features.
They've got similar features, I'm walking down the road.
That's not what people say about us. They say all black people look the same.
They don't want to mix.
As black people who come here not too long ago, because remember we haven't been here that long, right? Shouldn't we have been the ones that, in a way, helped these asylum seekers that we're talking about to integrate? I grew up with Asians who are the same as me, second generation, third generation. Now we all integrate because we've grown up with each other. They know England, they know chip, they know football. Right? These people have just come here. They don't know nothing about this country. Maybe some of them can't speak our language, but it's their children who will be the ones that integrate, and then maybe when they're children, they'll be saying the same thing as us. There'll be another wave, and they'll be saying the same thing.
True. What I'm trying to say, right, you've got to have a fair system. You have to put the people who've been in this country, the British people, you've got to put them first, and at the end of the day...
No, stop. They were here first, right? So English people, like BNP said, should have everything first.
No, hold on. Okay,
BNP said this the other day. Exactly what you said the other day. And they says English people were here first, white people were here first. Therefore, black people come after.
When my dad told me he'd come to England, right, it was like 6 people in one house. There wasn't any handouts when our parents came over here.
No, there was no handouts. What people have to understand,
You're right. When black people come over here, there wasn't a lot of stuff for them. But I'd have thought that's a good thing now, because we've come a long way since that. Maybe if black people come in here now, we'd get the same kind of things, and some of them do. You get Jamaicans that come here, Africans that come here, that are in the same situations as these people. If I know that 10% of my tax has gone towards helping somebody who, let's face it, some of these are from war-torn areas, some of these people are persecuted, like we could never understand, then I feel good.
You made a great point, but you're not true with me, right? I've got no patience. I've got no patience. Like, I've been through so much tribulations.
Do you think a lot of people think like you?
I think 90% of the population in this country think like me, mate.
It's our duty to make them feel welcome. If we get back aggression and we can say we've tried, until then we can't say we've tried. In fact, we become part of the problem.